Ladies and gentlemen, what strikes me most about the motion before the House and the arguments made for it is the arrogant assumption that because some do not understand or agree with what religions say about God, the idea of God must therefore be a delusion. In opposing the motion, I do, however, have some sympathy for those unhappy with the way God is described in Abrahamic religious texts, and how this has been used to divide what Sikhs see as our one human family. God, the creative force behind all that exists, is shown in Abrahamic texts as a sort of elderly gentleman with superhuman powers, but with very human failings of jealousy, anger, and favoritism. God is shown as being benevolent and benevolently overlooking the misdeeds of some, while vindictively punishing those not favored by him, by consigning them to everlasting suffering in the blistering heat of hell. Some texts go even further and suggest that the skin will be burnt off and new skin grown so that the person can be further punished. The reward for those that God favors is everlasting bliss in a place called heaven, where Muslim men enjoy some added extras. Members of the Abrahamic faith and their various subsects each claim that they are God's favorites, the chosen people. This leads to horrendous conflict and unbelievable atrocities between sister faiths, as seen in Gaza and other parts of the Middle East. When asked to comment on the suggestion that God created man in his own image, the philosopher Voltaire said, "I don't know about that, but man has certainly created God in his image." This portrayal of God as a being who inflicts dire punishment on the supposed bad behavior and was used in superstition in the superstitious past as what Conrad described as a constable's handbook to scare people to lawful and responsible behavior, but it's widely ignored today. This view of God is a million miles removed from the Sikh concept of God being the name given to the unknowable creative force behind all that exists. Some here will bristle at my suggestion that some things are beyond our human comprehension. The very idea that they say is that means God is a delusion. The renowned scientist Isaac Newton was more modest when he said about his achievements, "They are no more, I've been just simply playing with some pebbles on the beach when the great ocean of understanding lies before me undiscovered." The scientist J.B. Haldane put it even more succinctly when he said, "The universe is not only more complex than we suppose, it is more complex than we can suppose." The teachings of Guru Nanak on our inability to fully understand the nature of God, the creator and creative force behind all that exists, are in line with the views of these famous scientists. In the opening lines of the Sikh scriptures, Guru Nanak, the founder of the Sikh faith, writes, "There is but one God, the creator of all that exists, the ultimate truth, the reality, beyond emotions of fear and enmity, beyond time, birth, gender, or human frailty. For Sikhs, the aim of life is not to seek salvation, but simply live in harmony with what we call hukum, or the will of God. Sikh teachings require honest living, standing up for the rights of others, fighting injustice, rejecting all notions of race or religious superiority, rejecting all notions of caste, and working for gender equality, and in the closing words of our daily prayer, working for the well-being of all humanity. Shakespeare also recognized the importance of living in consonance with what Sikhs call the will of God. In Julius Caesar, he refers to what Sikhs call hukum as a tide, saying, "There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyages of their lives abound in shallows and miseries." Sikhism does not believe in afterlife punishment or reward, but simply in our responsibility to leave the world a better place for our having lived. Coming back to the motion before the House, I again quote Shakespeare, with Hamlet reminding Horatio that there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Unless, like the clever Mr. Toad, you believe we know all there is to be known and are prepared to forget the unbreakable scientific link between cause and effect, and irrationally believe in the absurdity that at first there was nothing, and then it all suddenly exploded to create infinite time, space, and matter, we have to accept the existence of a power or force beyond our comprehension that Sikhs refer to as God. I therefore urge you to vote against the motion that God, the creative force of all that exists, is a delusion. Thank you.